Hi, I'm Judette, the creator of forward40.com. And if you are here for the first time, welcome. We are a digital community for women and female entrepreneurs. And I am the host of Forward 40 TV, a magazine-style show streamed every Sunday when we are in season from your Facebook page that is designed to help you grow more successful and more beautiful and, of course, more graceful as you age. Okay, so as I said before, for many of you, this is the very first time perhaps that you are connecting with me and with us. And if it is, welcome. I am so glad that you decided to download this free video training. It means that somewhere deep down inside you, there is this dream, something you want to bring to life that you've been toying with or you've neglected maybe for far too long. Or it could be that you're here because you feel constrained by living everyone else's dream but your own, and the wind leaves your sail each time you think about what needs to be done when it comes to living your life without apology on your own terms. Or maybe, just maybe, your life is perfectly on track. You are doing you, accomplishing things, and you're feeling that your mojo is switched on, and this video caught your attention because you just want to up-level things just a tiny bit. Whatever made you press the download button on this video, there is something you need to know. You are here for a reason. Here, meaning watching this video, of course, but also here in the universe, this meta space, with a set of unique talents and gifts and treasures that only you can offer the world and make an impact in your own life, in the lives of people you know and those you love, and of course, even the ones you don't know and perhaps maybe won't ever meet. These are your gifts. And I want you to know for sure is that they don't belong to anyone else. They belong to just you. These gifts make you who you are. They are in your DNA. They form part of your character. And you just have to acknowledge them and bring them to life. Look, I know these things always sound easier when you say them or read them on paper. But I promise you, if you do the work, if you put into practice these strategies that I have successfully implemented in my own life for over 2 decades, if you do all the exercises I've designed in this free video training, I guarantee you will begin living life on your own terms and without apology. Some of the very questions you'll be asking yourself during this training are exactly the ones I asked myself when I decided to walk away from my successful PR firm at the very height of when it was doing so well and start something new, Forward 40. These are some of the very questions I asked when I walked down the streets in New York and thought, how great would it be to live in the city? And then bought an apartment in the beautiful Harlem just 3 months later with all of my savings. These 2 acts, just 2 acts, as simple as they may seem, were really about living life on my terms. And that's something that we all of us have in common. Within all of us, there's some idea, some decision, some creative work or otherwise that most of us have thought about but not yet acted upon. Now, you may call it all sorts of names: dreams, wishes, goals. Maybe it's a specific action you'd like to take, like leaving a job that's completely draining you, or traveling more, or increasing the amount of love you have in your life. It really doesn't matter. In my heart, it is my deepest belief that most people don't live life on their own terms because they really don't know how to. And so what ends up happening is that you drift, all of us maybe, drift through our own existence, allowing things to happen to us rather than being masters of our fate. Or listen to it, listen to this one. Because this one is so common, we get so comfortable staying in our lanes, we never give ourselves permission or time to engage with the unknown. So for a moment, I would like you to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Find a piece of paper or maybe your journal and write down this quote: attention is the beginning of creation. And if you want to begin living life on your own terms, you have to pay attention to your deepest desire. Now, I know, I know what most of you are thinking. Heck, Judith, how can I live life on my own terms when I haven't figured out what those terms are? So the very first strategy I have for you is actually in the form of a question. Do you still have that piece of paper nearby? Good. I want you to ask yourself, who do you want to be? And by that I mean, what kind of person do you want to be in this world? What energy do you want to bring to the very things you actually want to do? Now, I really want you to pay attention to these questions because they are designed to get you completely focused on the very attributes you will need to begin to live the life you truly desire and deserve. So in thinking about who do you want to be, maybe you'll ask yourself, do I want to be more thoughtful or more forthright? More loving, or do I need to pull back a little? Does living life on your own terms require that you become playful, engaged, compassionate? I want you to really think through what your being qualities are. They are so, so important because as you begin to shape how you will live in the way that you want to and you deserve, you're going to have to rely on the answers to the questions of who do you want to be, to take what's already in your heart and express it into the world. The truth is, the questions will lead you to the specific actions you need to take. Let me give you an example, for instance. For many reasons that I don't have the time to disclose, I don't have children. And so I'm always concerned about my legacy. What will I leave behind when I depart this earth? So I had to ask a question about who I wanted to be and what I wanted to be when I first thought of the idea of Forward 40. And the answer was almost immediate. I knew I wanted the platform to inspire and express exactly who I was, but also who I wanted to be when I felt lost and at times discouraged. I wanted to inspire and I wanted to be inspired. And just asking the question allowed me to shape the kind of content I would share. And it allowed me to create a community that was based on the terms that I felt completely comfortable and happy with. But I get it. I know it's hard because just knowing who you are is a challenge. But you have to do this work and go back to the original question about who do you want to be. Now, you can take some time with this question. You can stop this video right here, this moment, as you think some more about it. Don't worry, I'll be here when you get back. I just want you to do the work so that the training is really meaningful for you. Great, so let's continue now that you know the answer to the first question, which is really the first thing you need to do to live your life on your own terms. This brings me to my second strategy. Are you ready? My second tip is that you have to align your thoughts with your actions, because the biggest thing that stands between you and what you want is your ability to think and not do. Okay, here's what I mean. If you really want to bring to life your dreams, your actions have to match your beliefs, and your actions also have to match your thoughts. Here's what study after study has shown. If you write down your goals and you formulate actions to achieve them, and even send weekly progress reports to a friend or family member, you do so much more than those people who merely set a goal. This is so important for another reason, because it's all about accountability and it's about commitment. Here are two reasons why setting strategic, achievable goals will be super effective in helping you succeed and live life without apology. Number one, if you create too many goals or set impossible standards, you're more likely to get overwhelmed. You may wind up feeling scattered and anxious as opposed to organized and on track. And secondly, Most of us don't live in the world alone. We have friends and family and children and colleagues who we love. We have commitments that we are anchored to. So when deciding what matters to you, you might also have to recognize the people who matter to you. And since you may already have determined that they are a priority in your life and that caring for them is part of what makes you happy, by aligning your beliefs with your actions and sharing them with all the people who care about you, you'll actually be bringing them on board and getting them to see the big picture that whatever dream you are pursuing is not just important to you, but it's also important to their well-being. Yes, okay. I know this may take some negotiating. They may have to give up something, or you may have to learn to be more flexible, but the discussion, the negotiation is worth it. Here is what I know without a shadow of a doubt. And this is a quote, and one of the best that I have ever heard about living life on your own terms. When you live a life that you cherish, everything around you holds more meaning. You are likely to be kinder and more considerate and more understanding of others and their paths in life. When you are fulfilled, you can be more giving of yourself. That quote, it makes me so deeply happy, and I hope it does the same for you, because it's at this point that you finally begin to realize that living life on your own terms does not have to mean alienating the people you love. This brings me to my final point, and I'm so glad you got here, as this last strategy is the one I have to share. We all have a critical voice inside of us, and it has somewhat of an important role. Sometimes that critical voice wants to keep us safe, so naturally it goes into a default mode, and it will come close to your ear and whisper that you can't do something or that you shouldn't. And that critical voice will use words like, you're familiar with these, right? No, you don't really want to do that, do you? Or you've never gone after it before, or you probably aren't even capable of doing what you really want. It will warn you about taking chances and trying a new approach to life. And it will tell you things like, if you go for what you want, you are setting yourself up for failure, and it will be a humiliating one. But this critical voice, as much as it wants to keep you safe, it is also very cynical and self-hating, and it's paranoid and it's suspicious, and its ultimate end is destructive to you, to others, and to your dreams. Listen, I know that too many times your inner critical voice has sabotaged your dreams, your wants, your desires, and your goals. It happened so much to me too. But here's the formula, and it goes according to a formula, right? When you come to think about it, whenever I think about doing something differently or about being brave, my critical inner thoughts will get in my way to undermine my efforts with self-doubt, or it will lure me to procrastinate and stop. And it's so easy to get lost. So self-doubt and I, we're always talking, not fighting. I just talk to her. And I'm here to tell you this. And if it's one thing you take away from this training, I want it to be this. If you really want to go about changing your life, you have to adopt a zero tolerance policy towards your inner critic. When you notice that when it's starting to attack you, or when you're starting to attack yourself, you have to interrupt that thinking immediately. Don't let yourself argue or mull it over in your mind. Just remind yourself that these are just critical inner thoughts, and that it is never, ever appropriate to have a mean, taunting, or nasty attitude toward yourself. And once those voices start to whisper in your ears, you actually have to shut out the noise. Writer Elizabeth Gilbert has a great exercise in her beautiful book, The Big Magic. She goes on a road trip and invites her self-doubt into the car with her. And she tells her critical inner voices that
there's plenty of room in the minivan for all of us, so make yourself at home. But understand this, creativity and I are the only ones who will be making any decisions along the way. I recognize and I respect that you're part of this family. I will never exclude you from our activities, but still, your suggestions will not be followed. You are allowed to have a seat, you're allowed to have a voice, but you are not allowed to have a vote. You don't get to touch the roadmaps, you're not allowed to suggest detours, you're not allowed to fiddle with the temperature. Dude, you're not even allowed to choose the freaking snacks. But above all else, my dear old familiar friend, you are absolutely forbidden to drive.
Elizabeth Gilbert is right, because I promise you, once you have this kind of conversation with your own self-doubt and tackle the negative voices inside your head, it is only then you can advance into the marvelous, I know it's terrifying, but the marvelous terrain of the unknown. I hope you enjoyed this video and that you are inspired to live how you want in the manner that matters to you. In my heart and in my gut, I know that these 3 strategies, understanding who you want to be, aligning your thoughts with your actions, and dusting your self-critic off, will allow what is stashed away in your heart to come to life. I hope you enjoyed this video. Check out Forward 40 TV and of course our blog at forward40.com, where we have hundreds of episodes that will help you live your purpose. Each of our posts and episodes are filled with actionable steps that you can take to help you grow more beautiful and more successful as you age. Thank you so much for watching.